Where did you get your ideas from?
Your ideas? Oh, man, I got a million dreams. That's all I do is dream all the time.
I thought you played piano.
No, this is not piano. This is dreaming.
All right, how we feeling? We back at it. Welcome to the new people. Welcome back to my old homies. Where y'all at? How we feeling? All right. Whew. So this is music history for the culture. I'm Jelani Akil Bowman, your host, and we're going to be continuing with our second half of the special episode, focusing on the great Edward Kennedy, Duke Ellington. To start things off, we're going to be speaking about an individual who was a very integral aspect to Ellington's musical legacy. His name was Billy Strayhorn, pianist, composer, orchestrator, arranger. Strayhorn is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania originally. And by the time he was a teenager, he was known for his great talent for composition. And during his years in high school, Strayhorn was already writing music for musicals at his school. Also during his teenage years, he writes one of his most known prolific compositions entitled Lush Life. Strayhorn goes on and meets Ellington for the first time in 1938. And when he meets him, he has a chance to share some of his works with Ellington. And Ellington is impressed by the young man's work at this time. Strayhorn is about 22 years old. And Ellington says he's going to send for Strayhorn to come and join him in the orchestra in the future. And he keeps his word. Some time passed, and now we see the inception of a nearly 30-year collaboration between Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn. Ellington, he has Strayhorn become his arranger for many of his works, orchestrating, writing, sometimes even sitting down at the piano chair. In Strayhorn, Ellington finds someone who truly understands his musical aesthetics and concepts, but at the same time, Strayhorn has his own approach and perspective and ideas on music. In Strayhorn's words, Ellington and Strayhorn, even though their composition and piano styles differed, but they were able to find common ground in regards to the feelings they were striving for. This relationship between Ellington and Strayhorn is a very unique one, a very musically intimate situation where they're tirelessly, orchestrating together and composing, music feeding off one another. They could be in different places. Strayhorn could be in one place and Ellington will pick up the phone and call Strayhorn to have him hear, ideas to see if this will work, or this wouldn't work. They would bring in their own ideas for one specific piece and see which one would work better. It was a really, a very special thing that's not always, that doesn't really come into occurrence a lot moving forward. Strayhorn contributes many great compositions to the orchestra, some of them being Take the A Train, which is a very widely known and celebrated piece that becomes the theme for the Duke Ellington Orchestra. And many times this piece is credited to Duke Ellington, but Billy Strayhorn is the actual composer. Some other compositions that were utilized in the orchestra that were written by Strayhorn were Chelsea Bridge, Satin Doll, Lotus Blossom, Rain Check, and many others. The Ellington-Strayhorn collaboration creates the space for very experimental and explorative approaches to orchestration that really help shape and create the trajectory for the orchestra. Outside of the institution that is the Duke Ellington Orchestra, Strayhorn's works are performed globally all over the world till this day and have been recorded by the likes of John Coltrane, Nat King Cole, Joe Henderson, Queen Latifah, and even Lady Gaga. So when we speak of Billy Strayhorn, we're definitely speaking on someone who belongs in the pantheon of great American composers. We're going to take this moment to bring attention to a piece, a very significant piece, by Ellington entitled Black, Brown, and Beige. 1943 marks the 20th year of Ellington in the music industry. To celebrate this anniversary, there's an event that's put on, and they call it Ellington Week. During Ellington Week, there's much publicity and attention being received that's leading to a concluding performance that's going to be taking place at the world famous Carnegie Hall. And at this performance, we have a concert that's going to be put on by Duke and his orchestra. For this performance, Ellington premieres Black, Brown, and Beige. Black, Brown, and Beige is a 3-movement tone parallel that depicts the story of Black Americans from the transatlantic slave trade through modern times. The first movement, Black, consists of 2 themes. The first theme is the work song, and the second theme is the spiritual. With these 2 themes, Ellington is exhibiting how music serves as a mechanism to alleviate the pain brought on by the arduous labor and suffering and trauma that was caused by slavery. The second movement, Brown, is Ellington bringing light to the contributions of Black Americans during the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, and World War I. The final movement, Beige, is Ellington depicting what is at that moment modern-day Black America. And in this movement, we see Ellington showing his gratitude for the everyday Black American who's gone through various hardships and compromising circumstances, whether it be finding food for their family or finding shelter, that they still are enthused and have the love in their heart to support the Black American entertainers of those times. I think with Black, Brown, and Beige, we once again see Ellington being very intentional with his artistry, with his musical vision. This piece being premiered at Carnegie Hall, which is known for being a space that has historically had much reverence for high art of the Eurocentric vernacular. Ellington being a Black American artist in 1943, and him being conscious that this opportunity wasn't granted to many Black American artists, he brought a dialogue and a conversation to the forefront to an audience that was probably comprised of mostly European Americans. And he had no apprehension about the uncomfortable sentiments that might be provoked by such a serious topic being the story of Black America in 1943 and before, where we know that much racism and oppression is still going on. Black, Brown, and Beige truly shows the wide musical range of Ellington's work. Of course, he certainly revered bringing entertainment and joy to people, but at the same time, he had no fears in regards to bringing to the forefront concerning issues that were very important to him and, in his own perspective, very critical to the state of the world at those times.
We did Black, Brown, and Beige, which was a tone parallel to the history of the Negro in America. Their major contributions, which have been many, they are said to have built America in the 5 major industries of the foundation of the country. Their labor was in constructing the country was most outstanding. Their blood has been given in every war, and today, they've contributed culturally, and this thing that we're in, music, I think that is the music that is recognized as the American music, which of course is mostly Negro. And the Negro in America is a very proud race of people, and I'm very, very happy to be here representing them.
Through his artistry, Ellington inspires many people to believe that despite harsh circumstances, anything was possible during his lifetime. Ellington portrays a sense of freedom that was in many ways not common to the Black American community during this period. We have to envision Ellington and his orchestra traveling throughout the U.S. to various cities and small towns and rural areas and carrying themselves with such a supreme level of confidence and audacity and valor during a time that was entrenched with hostile racism and social economical oppression. We can only imagine the impression that was left on the everyday people of these times. In many ways, as a result of these contributions, Duke and his orchestra served as beacons of optimism and hope. In regard to his musical contributions, Ellington lays a foundation that assists many future artists in realizing the importance of utilizing every aspect of their artistry to express their reverence for the ideals, communities, and narratives that have directly impacted their respective journeys. Ellington exhibits how an art form truly possesses multiple functions. Of course, Duke's thousands of compositions have certainly contributed to the fabric of American music and entertainment. But when examining his life contributions, I believe it is very critical for us to give recognition to the people who fueled it.